Welcome to lesson 2, and today we are continuing with watercolor mixing, and we came to beautiful gardens to see different kind of flowers and different kind of colors, because we will be needing a lot of different colors. He went looking. So this was from lesson 1. We studied watercolor mixing through color wheel mixing primaries, yellow, red and blue. And today we will be using this. This is watercolor mixing notebook where we will practice more of mixing and matching with real subjects. As we are in beautiful gardens surrounded with flowers, the assignment is to pick 5 different flowers and leaves, and we will be mixing and matching. The abundance of colors in this garden is amazing, and it's quite easy to choose. Maybe hard to pick only 5. I would rather try 10, but let's stick to the plan. To make it a little bit harder, you can choose very similar subjects and colors. Then you will need to mix different pinks or different violets or different greens. Before starting, we need to awaken watercolors with a very light water mist. You have your previously painted color wheel, which is a guide to see in which color tone is your picked subject. Alex picked a pink flower, but it is not just clean pink pigment. In nature, all colors are very rich, and also when we think we see clean pink, in reality, there can be some reds, blues, or yellows. To see the difference, you can place your subject, in our case it's pink flower, and paint out clean pink pigment. Now you can see that there are some differences. If the subject looks more warmer, you can add yellow to the pink pigment, just a small amount. If subject feels and looks colder, you can add blue or violet to your pink pigment. Again, when you add some new pigment, add first small amount, mix, paint out on your paper or sketchbook right beside your subject and compare. In the sketchbook, it's important to write all pigment names that were used so you know what is the recipe for this mix. All the time experiment. Try different pigments and mix. Paint out in your sketchbook or on a piece of paper, because even if your mixing palette is white paper, shows color mixes slightly different. Mix and match. Experiment with pigments that you have already in your paint box. Don't just blindly follow the suggestions from tutorial, but first, before even starting your painting, first mix and match watercolors. And now we have next flower, which is different. I helped you with this one. Now tell me, which color do you see and what do you think which pigment you should take to get this color?
I see manganese violet.
Okay, so paint it out. I always, when I do first, I try to find the right color mix. I paint out all pigments I think I will be using. It doesn't mean that I will be using, but I think I will be using them. Okay. So you took manganese violet, and if we place it side by side, it's not quite there, right?
Right.
So which color should we add?
More whiter?
No, we not making colors whiter, we are making colors lighter, because in watercolors everything is made lighter with water. So if you clean your brush, slightly remove excess amount of water and just continue this part, you see you are making it the same layer, you are making it lighter. You don't use any white pigment, only water. It dilutes and makes something lighter. Paint it out on paper, because it's always different. Even if you have mixing palette white, it will be different on paper. Now Now we are ready to start the third one, which will be this inner part of this flower. Also, it's not clean yellow. There are more pigments there. Alex decided to add sap green, but when you add something to yellow, do it very, very carefully with super small amounts, because yellow tend to get dirty super fast. Yellow is a very tricky pigment in general, and painting yellow subject, I find the most difficult to get them really beautiful and vibrant. So the beauty of having real subject in front of you, you can compare and look from different sides. For example, here we see yellow, but if I turn around, there is some green, which means that that green is going to the front yellow. We have a mix of Indian yellow, sap green and alizarin crimson now. Paint out and compare with flower.
It's really good now.
It's very close, yes, beautiful. Now we are working with green leaf. Started with perylene green and it looks quite bluish, but what we need to add to blue, if it's green more bluish, to get it more green, we need to add
Yellow.
yes, yellow. Put more yellow and always paint out in your sketchbook. So we are very close with green mixes, but they are slightly off. And there's one that's like a rule to remember: to get any green watercolor mix more earthy green, like we have grass, leaves, we need to add like teeny tiny bit of red. That is something to remember. If you add too much of red, it will instantly become brown, but if added a little bit, then you will get more earthy looking green watercolor mix. Now we are done with green, and you need to write pigment names of the mixes you used. And now with gray watercolor mix. In this palette, and majority of watercolor paintings don't have clean black pigment. There's gray pigments, bluish black pigments, but we can mix gray using primary colors. Yes, we have here from color wheel, if mixed equally we get brown, but if added more blue we get gray, and that's only a matter of different proportions to change different pigments to get different gray watercolor mixes. Beautiful gray watercolor mix. Bravo! From first try.
Thanks to you.
And that's it for lesson 2. Now my assignment to you is go get 5 different subjects. It can be items from your home, items from your garden, local park, and try to mix and match. This is a wonderful assignment, practice you can do no matter how advanced or how less you are a beginner. Thank you and see you in our lesson 3. In conclusion, expose yourself more to nature, be in the nature, take sketchbook and brushes and paints with you and do this amazing exercise. No pressure with finished result, just you and paints and nature.